a video message from our United States Department of Health and Human Services Deputy Secretary, Ms. Andrea Palm.
Hi, I'm Andrea Palm. I'm the Deputy Secretary here at the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services. I'm honored to have the opportunity to address you all at the HHS Office of Small and Disadvantaged Business Utilization 2024 Small Business National Training Conference. In fiscal year 2023, the department demonstrated its dedication to maximizing small and socioeconomically disadvantaged businesses in its acquisition portfolio. Prime contract awards to small businesses totaled $10 billion, surpassing the previous year by $918 million. The department also met its small business, small disadvantaged business, and women-owned small business goals while increasing prime contract dollar spend in each category. Education is a cornerstone of progress, and in fiscal year 2023, over 3,000 members of the department's acquisition workforce engaged in 9 training courses focusing on critical small business topics such as policy, regulation, and congressional updates. In addition, the implementation of the Small Business Customer Experience, SBCX, in fiscal year 2023 marked another success for the department. Serving as the system of record for the acquisition forecast, SBCX generated over 6,378 procurement opportunities for the HHS Small Business Industrial Base. This year's Small Business National Training Conference brings together small and socioeconomically disadvantaged businesses with the HHS acquisition workforce community. The focus is on fortifying acquisition strategies for small business utilization and revitalizing the small business industrial base in manufacturing, knowledge-based services, and innovation. Notably, this conference marks a significant milestone as it includes the participation of historically Black colleges and universities, HBCUs, and minority serving institutions, MSIs, in collaboration with the National Institutes of Health Path to Excellence and Innovation Initiative. This reflects the department's commitment under Executive Order 14041 to strengthen the capacity of HBCUs and MSIs in federal programs, including procurement opportunities. HHS consistently fosters a culture of flexibility and openness to achieve its mission priorities while reducing barriers for small businesses. The strength of small businesses in the health and human services sector lies in their adaptability to evolving customer requirements, a trait crucial in the dynamic healthcare landscape. Driven by passion and commitment, small businesses play a vital role in addressing the unique needs of the HHS organization and communities that we serve. As the backbone of our nation's economy, small businesses contribute significantly to various industries, and their active involvement in government contracts promotes job creation, diversity, competition, and innovation. By recognizing the integral role of small businesses, we enhance the resilience of supply chains, create job opportunities, and foster a dynamic and competitive market. We acknowledge their indispensable contribution to driving economic achievements. Let's get in the game for small business success. Thank you for your participation, and I hope this training conference provides valuable insights for all.
And now we will have our a formal welcome and opening remarks from Ms. Jackie Robinson Burnett of the SBA. She is the Associate Administrator for the Office of Government Contracting and Business Development.
Good morning, HHS, and welcome. I'm so excited to be here. Let me see a show of hands so I can know who's in the room. So OSDBU staff, okay. Contracting professionals, government contracting professionals, 1102 type folks, okay. HBCU, MSI folks, okay. And small business leaders, federal government contracting leaders. Okay, awesome. Welcome. You're going to have a powerful 2 days of learning, and I'm so excited to be here with you. So I guess you're wondering, how does a little brown girl like me end up retiring and getting a phone call from the executive office of the president at the White House. Yeah. To come back to serve as a presidential appointee over a $240 billion program, prime and small business contracts across the globe. I'm so excited to be here in this role. And I spent 35 years in the federal government before I retired. Now, mind you, I'm only 35 years old. Don't do the math. Mind your own business. But it's a privilege to be back serving and helping businesses grow in this way. My family, I'm an Army wife, and I have 3 daughters that are Army officers. So we have spent our life serving. Thank you. We have spent our life serving this country in every possible way, but it's exciting to be back helping small businesses grow and building the economic engine of this country. And there's nothing better than being in a room full of contracting, small business leaders, and small business owners, because you have a sphere of influence that spans the globe, and I get a chance to drop a little knowledge with you. It's really exciting. And I'm inspired by what HHS has done with their small business program. You know, contracting and small business office at HHS has really started to build their relationship in a way that I have not seen in my entire time of working with the government. It's clear that the relationship has shifted. I was here a few years ago, and the relationship between contracting and small business at HHS was broken. Like, it was broken in a way that everybody in the federal government knew it was broken. And I applaud you for what you've done to roll up your sleeves and bring this team together, because now the way that contracting and the small business office is working together at HHS has set the standard for the entire federal government. A new standard, and it was set by HHS, and it has become the standard. Your relationship is amazing. And that's why I'm here with 3 senior executives from the SBA. And this is historical. Like, we've not done this before, but we want to show you that we see you. We know what you're doing. The SBA administrator sees you, and we're in it with you. And so we just applaud. Let's just give a hand to HHS for what you've done. My leaders are over there. Can you all stand up and wave? This is Francine and Donna Peebles. And I also have Sam Lee, who runs our Office of Policy. Donna runs the 8A program. Francine runs all of government contracting, all of the PCRs that sit in federal offices. She oversees that and more. But President Biden, his remarkable leadership is driving historic and economic change in government contracting. And it's the first time that I've seen this type of focus out of the White House, specifically on government contracting. Yes, they always talk about small businesses, but really the push now is about government contracting. And the Biden-Harris administration is just really inspiring so many businesses to start and grow. And over 16 million new business starts since the administration. And President Biden is also focused on disaggregated data, meaning, yes, we talk about the billions of dollars that are going to small businesses, 240 billion, but where are those dollars really going? So he asked us to peel back the layers and see if there are still disparities. And we learned that Black and brown businesses still face significant disparities in government contracting, with only 1.5 to 2% of all contracts spent every year. So that's significant. And that's why we want to push for that 15% small disadvantaged business goal by 2025. And we know that with HHS help and this industry, we know that we can get there. I want to talk about some of the things we're doing at the SBA to help make it better and to fight some of the challenges. Because with this goal of 15%, by 2025, well, you know, anytime you have a new goal to expand and diversify, you're going to have challenges. And how many of you are familiar with the Ultima lawsuit case? Okay, so I don't have to give too much background in it, but the 8A program is our flagship program for small disadvantaged businesses, and it helps those companies start and grow in federal space. They have an opportunity for 9 years to do work with the government and get sole source contracts. Even though it's the simplest and easiest way to award a contract, because you just pick the firm and give them the contract basically, without competition, it is still the least used tool. Only 3% of the contracts are awarded through the 8A program. But this program was challenged at the end of last fiscal year, and we had 4,700 firms that were in the program that were immediately ineligible to accept a new contract because the judge in Nashville deemed that the way the SBA was running the program was unconstitutional. So we had to get all of these contractors back in and active in the program. And the SBA put 50 lawyers, and it was all hands, whole of SBA on deck to get this done. And we were able to get most of the firms back in, but we still have about 400 that are suspended and stand to be terminated if they don't align. And so I didn't want one single contractor to lose their opportunity. It's once in a lifetime. You know, all of these other programs where they're women-owned, service-disabled, vet, HUBZone, if you get out of compliance, you can get back in. With the 8A program, once you're out for your lifetime. So I say that right now, the challenges on the 8A program, they now shifted. There's a lawsuit against the Alaska Native tribal organization saying the way we do that is unconstitutional. It starts with one and then the attacks go to others. I can't imagine eventually it'll be, we shouldn't do anything for women-owned businesses. We shouldn't do anything special for service-disabled vets or HUBZone. It just starts with one. There's room at the table for everybody. And even though it doesn't impact you at the moment, we all need to fight to keep these programs safe. When I first started on January, the first week of January, so I've just been back in the government 3 months. I guess it's been 4 months. This time is going by so fast. But the first week I got there, I learned that the Office of Federal Procurement and Policy was working on a document to implement the Rule of Two and to increase contracts in category management for small businesses. Over the last 10 years, 40% of our small business industrial base has shrunk because of category management contracts. The government decided 10 years ago to award these large major contracts. We were going to get economy of scale. These contractors are going to subcontract to small businesses, but that really didn't happen. And sometimes they were taking a contract from a small business, a 8A, a HUBZone, a woman-owned, and putting it on these major, huge vehicles. And you would think that large company would then turn it back and subcontract to the prime small business that had the work. No, those companies couldn't even get a call back. And these contracts, it was a lot to get on board. You know, sometimes you had to have $3 to $10 million of 3 examples of past performance to get on the vehicle, even though the minimum, the basic task orders were $500,000 to $1 million, suitable for small businesses, but getting on the vehicle was tough. So I was able to help OFPP release this memo. They're giving me, what is that, 5 minutes to release this memo. And we're looking for every federal agency to be cautious when you're taking work from the small businesses and handing it to a large company under one of these vehicles. When these vehicles come out, we want small businesses to be on as prime contractors. And then we want you to follow the Rule of Two. If 2 or more small businesses can do the work, then let's set the work aside. So we just released on regulations.gov to implement the Rule of Two and this OFPP memo in stone. And we need small businesses and small business leaders and contracting leaders to endorse this on regulations.gov, because large companies are already saying, we don't want this to happen. The next, I want to tell you, we're doing something exciting at the SBA about certifications. We have had kind of a bad reputation about certifications. If you want a woman-owned small business certification, it takes 12 months. Vet cert, we're doing well 2 weeks. HUBZone, 3 months, and then 8A, sometimes 6 to 9 months. There are people that are waiting 12 months for 8A certification. our administrator has said, we want to stop the madness and simplify this process for every small business. And we're going to unify and you will no longer have to submit applications to 4 different teams into 4 different broken systems, but it'll be one system, one team. And when you submit your documents once, you will be able to come out with every certification that you're eligible for. Is this exciting? And that's why I came back to the government. This has to be done this year, and we plan to launch it this year. So I'm really excited about that. Yes. How many supervisors do I have in the room? Leaders, supervisors. Okay. How many people aspire to be a leader or a supervisor? Oh, you got, come on now. Listen. This week really should be about professional development and leader development. I want to encourage you all to read the book. If you aspire to be a leader, it's called How Successful People Lead by John Maxwell. And it talks about 5 levels of leadership. And the first level is you just get the position. But when you get the position, it doesn't mean that the people trust you or they're going to raise the bar. It just means you're in that position at the lowest level of leadership. And you want to aspire to level 2, where you build relationships with people and they begin to trust you. And then 3, where you actually have projects and you're raising the bar for your organization. And that's where you want to ride. And then you want to at least get to level 4, where you're reproducing yourself. You are leading other people to teach them how to be a leader. And guess what? You can never lead and inspire anyone to be something that you're not. Right? And so read this book, invest in yourself. You've invested in yourself by being here today. I'm going to be here for the next couple of days. And please, I'm approachable, I'm reachable. Come up, talk to me. I'm so happy to be here with you. Take care.
And now, the moment we've been waiting for. Is everyone ready to get in the game with HHS? All right. Introducing the Executive Director for the U.S. Department Health and Human Services Office of Small Disadvantaged Business Utilization, Mr. Shannon C. Jackson.
Come on now. All right, all right. How's everybody doing today? I will tell you, today has been a great day already when we started out today. I want to first we'll start out with the thank yous. Again, I want everybody to be patient because I know it was a little bit of challenge in getting in here today, but I definitely appreciate everybody coming. So first I want to do a couple of thank you. I want to thank CDC for hosting this event. We came down here about a month ago and we was like, hey, this is the right place to do it. And CDC was grateful enough to actually help us put this together. And I'm really proud about what has actually came out of this event. So CDC did a great job. Second, I want to thank my small business, my staff. They have put an amazing event together for each and every one of us today, so you can get some information and walk away with something. So I definitely, I want my small business specialists to stand up so you guys can see the amazing team that helped put all of this together. Come on, stand up. All right. Okay. And now I definitely want to thank one person who is really has done yeoman's work, and she has really put this thing together. We had a vision, and she really made it happen. I'd like to introduce Miss Ariel Douglas, who is my deputy director. Okay. Third, definitely, I would like to definitely thank the Small Business Administration for coming today. It's been truly a partnership. They've seen me since I was a contractor all the way to being a government civilian and now being the director of Department of Health and Human Services. And I thank SBA for their support and participating in this event. Thank you. Last, first, and I guess the last thing I would think, the last group I would think is the small business industrial base. Without you, it wouldn't be us, because you help this organization get to where it needs to get to. The deputy director talked about it just a few minutes ago. Just about over 918 million more dollars spent last year, which gave us that $10 billion mark. So again, I want to thank the small businesses for doing what you did to help us get there. So thank you. Okay, so now I'll go into my get in the game. So, it was really, I know when I hear the national anthem, especially that national anthem, that was actually really helps you get in the game. When Whitney Houston sung that at that Super Bowl, that was actually really the best Super Bowl with a great national anthem. So that being said, get in the game. So reason why we talked about getting in the game, I want you to think about three things. And I thought about it just a few minutes ago. First, I want you to say commitment. Say commitment. I want you to say preparation. And then I want you to say resilience. Okay, so remember those three letters. Okay, so next slide. As you can see, this is the starting part of the getting the game. You got to know where we spend our money at. That's information. So when you're here this week or this next couple of days, I want you to take notes. I want you to take what we're doing, how we're doing it, and then where the money is being spent. One thing I learned at the beginning when I first started was you got to follow where the money's spent. Okay. And then what I will always tell you is, as I told you before, as a lot of people have heard me, you got to be prepared. Okay. So this is the start of the get in the game. One of the things that why I'm here is to really help maximize small business across a wide variety of a portfolio of the Department of Health and Human Services. When you think about where we start from birth to expiration, that's a wide variety of things. And think about where you're sitting at today, CDC. Think about FDA, NIH, all of them are represented here today. And I'm really happy about that, because where we started from is the commitment of team and growing our industrial base, growing our partnerships. So I'm really happy about that. Next slide. As everybody know, when I first started a couple of years ago, we talked about GPS. I did add another S in there about sustainability. But when I talked about the growth, I wanted to grow in the industrial base, because just as Ms. Robinson stated, that the small disadvantaged business growth has grown. Remember, a couple of years ago, we went from 5% to now 14 or 13. And then in 2025, we'll be at almost 15%. What does that mean? That means that the opportunities have to grow. And we have to have the industrial base to be able to do that. And the only way we're going to do that is the partnerships with industry, partnership with internal and external organizations. And that's why I talked about growth. And when I think about the growth, we grew in our industrial base last year. We grew in our workforce. We grew in opportunities for small businesses. And then also we grew in the education of our organization, because just as the Deputy Secretary stated, one of the things I think that's the most important thing is being educated. If you don't know all about, I think when I first started, we talked about executive orders. You should know all of the executive orders that apply to you. Then you have the OMB memos that also apply to you as well. And then you also have each organization, each federal agency has a strategy that really focuses on you. So if you don't know that information, you got to do your homework. So that's that preparation. Okay. So remember that. When I talk about that C, what's the C? What about the P? Okay, y'all got to say it now. Okay, then we talked about predictability. I will tell you the predictability has been really great. Last year, we had over 6,000 some odd requirements put in our small business customer experience, really focusing on really reducing that barrier and ensuring small business get the opportunities to be successful. And I think that's where we're continuing to try to build on that. And we'll talk about some of the critical things that have been actually added to the system to even make it even better. When we talked about predictability, and I'll tell you this is one of the things that in one of those executive orders, it talks about better oversight and subcontracting plans and goals. One of the things the department is really trying to do is get after that. If some of my larger primes are here today, which they are, I know they are, they have partnered with us to really try to help do that. And that's because, again, I'm gonna tell you like this, and a lot of my mentors will tell you I don't like losing. Okay. Since I've been here, we've been at the bottom with this our goal for subcontractors is actually 32%. When I first got here, we were at 17. Today we're at 24. Okay, I still got some time to go, so great job. But that's that commitment to that predictability and understand where those opportunities lie for small businesses to partner with our large primes. When we talk about synchronization, I tell you, it has been that internal and external partnerships. As you can see, one of the things that you have at least 9 of the 13 operating divisions represented here today. The last couple of months, we've had really if I calculate all of the operating divisions, each of them have hosted an event this fiscal year. And this is another capstone where we have majority of them here today for this next 2 days. So I want you to get an opportunity to talk to the NIHs, the CDCs, the ACFs, the CMSs, FDAs. Those is a great opportunity to actually engage directly with them. So again, that's that synchronization. Also, I do want to say hats off to some of my associations that we have been partnered with to help grow those industrial base. 2 of the areas that the department grew in last year spent about 160 million more in Hub Zone and Service Disabled Veteran Owned. So again, that's that partnership with the National Veterans Small Business Coalition. That's also the Hub Zone Council and some of our other organizations that we've partnered with to actually participate in some of their events and then really help grow that relationship, because that's that synchronization. So when I came into 24, I thought about one other thing, was the sustainability. How do we make sure that that's institutionalized within inside of our organization and then outside? This is a part of it. Hosting this event, this is the sustainability where you get information from us, we take information from you, and then how do we make it better for the future? So again, when I went into the sustainability, these are the things that we're going to continue to do. Train, we're going to continue to engage our industrial base. And then one of the things that I have really asked my specialists to do is make sure we have informative events where you walk away with something. Because again, I just don't want you to just show up and not walk away with anything. And as you can see, what we have coming up on the 4th of April, that will be our matchmaking sessions. And those where opportunities will be presented for you to actually engage. But I recommend, so when you do engage, be prepared. Be prepared. Don't ask questions. You direct the traffic. Okay. All right. So that's the GPS. So a lot of times there's a lot of people here today. So, if I tell you to email me, you know what you got to put in the subject and tell me where I saw you at. So that's the subject. That's what you put in the subject, GPSS. Okay. Everybody got that? Okay. Next slide. So we talked about one of the things. So here again, this was really a vision of the small business specialists to really, how do we engage our larger primes? We started out the fiscal year, we hosted a large prime industry day, really trying to find out what their targeting efforts are or the issues that they're having. Because in order for us to get there, I need them to partner together with us, especially with subcontracting. One of the things that we're going to be releasing here in the next couple of days is the bid board. This will give large primes an opportunity to post their stuff that they want to team with small businesses. But again, what I want you to do is you got to be prepared. People are not going to put you on the team if you can't add value. People are not going to put you on there. And you got to know where those companies are. And every teammate ain't the right teammate. So you got to determine when you're looking at those teaming opportunities, be prepared for it, but know what has been their challenges. And this is an opportunity to do that. So again, I'm happy about it. This gives the large primes an opportunity to really engage, because in order for us to get to that 15% in the future, we have to grow that industrial base utilizing our large primes. Okay, but there is another part to that. So just be very clear. In order to do that, we have to have accountability. And one of the things that I have been working with the Office of Acquisition, the senior procurement, is to how do we look at those CPARs? Because at the end of the fiscal year, each of the large primes have to go through a CPARS. And now we have to be able to document it appropriately if they're actually achieving their subcontract goals. But the point that I've said to all my leaders is make them realistic. Because if the market's not there, you can never achieve it. But if I don't check and hold you accountable, we never gonna get there. So we got to make sure when we're doing those larger contracts that we make sure that they have realistic goals in there, and then know that the market is there. Because in order for me to grow that industrial base to get there, I'm going to have folks teaming together and working together to ensure we get there. Next slide. All right. So this is our commitment. And when I talk about that commitment is we're committed to trying to grow this industrial base. We have had multiple events this year. I'm so excited. So first, raise your hand, veterans. All veterans, raise your hand. Okay, good. Let's give them a clap out. So now I want to ask the veterans another question. Who all registered for the conference last month? Raise your hand. Okay. All right. Keep your hands up. Who all came to that conference? Raise your hand. Okay. So all right, put your hands down. So now what I want to tell you, I'm telling you publicly. See, I might get in trouble for this. But when we host an event, Focus, you have 5 organizations within inside of HHS focused on veteran-owned businesses, and you didn't show up. I'm gonna be mad because they took the time, 5 of them, we brought them all in one house. Never been done before. But what I need when have these type of events, you gotta show up. Because I'm asking them to bring food to the table. I don't want to talk about anything. I want them to bring something to show you where we're at. What are they looking for? Where are the opportunities you're going to be at? These events are going to do that for you. Because no longer are we going to just sit here and just transfer information. Does you no good. We want to do is, hey, we got all these forecasts. I want to verify the forecast. And remember, let me just be very clear with everybody. Forecast is not perfect. But it's our effort to try to get it there. And when we put events together, we're focused on those things that need to be put out to the industrial base. So you have an opportunity to go after. Here's the opportunity to do that. One of the things I'm actually excited about, the team of folks in my office established this thing called Grow with HHS. This gives the small businesses that are brand new, the new interests, an opportunity to come to a training event that you get to hear from myself, you get to hear from senior leaders, you get to hear from the staff, all the particular places that you need to get the information to better prepare yourself to do business with the department. So again, all of the resources there. I definitely want to highlight a couple of these events. And one of the things I'm happy about is our commitment to our partnerships with other federal agencies. Last year, we spent a time with the Department of Interior, where we actually really focused on my Native American firms. Raise your hand. Any Native American firms in here? Okay. All right. Good deal. Okay. So I got my man George in the back. And I will tell you that event last year was game changing. We're actually hosting another one here in Arizona, led by the Department of Interior, and it's focused on our Native American firms. And let me just tell you something. Last year, our goal was 20%. The department achieved 31%. So the opportunities are out there for my Native American firms. So give a clap of hands to that. And we're going to increase. And then the other thing is I give one other plug out there. Our administration from Children and Family. They're hosting advanced planning briefs to industry. You'll hear a little bit more about it later on. But again, that's another way of engaging our industrial base. And then the last thing is something that our senior procurement executive, Ms. Katrina Brisbane, has really been pushing is that next year, actually in 2025, we'll do an industry-wide event where now you're going to really have all of the department, not just a few, all of them. So this is going to be a nice industry day that we're really, and everybody has bought in on it. So just imagine 13 organizations, just because of the senior executive, have pushed it in her strategy that she wants to bring everybody together. So more to follow on that, because that is going to be critical for us as we move forward in the future. Next slide. Okay. I will tell you, we talked about this real quick, and again, you have to have what? Commitment. Okay, you can't just stop. When somebody closes one door, you gotta open up another. Because at the end of the day, if you've probably heard me say this before, if being a small business was easy, everybody would be a small business. You're gonna get doors closed in on you. But what you got to do is you got to go to the next door. Soon, there will be an opportunity that's going to open up. But when that opportunity comes, what you should be prepared. Because again, the biggest thing is you can slice the CPR in any way: commitment, resilience, preparation. You can do it any way you want it, however you want that acronym to be. But if you remember those three things, I think you're going to get there. Because one of the things that we're going to be committed to you is committed in making sure you get the most up-to-date information that we as a department can provide. And then preparation is that all of the vendor engagements and the stuff that we are doing the training for across the department, we're going to make sure we do that. And we're going to continue to, in that resilience, continue to work with our optives to really bring in many opportunities as we can. Okay? So now, with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and do one more thing, and I'm going to tell everybody like this. Hey, take this event, look to your left and to your right. There's people that you don't meet all of the time. You need to shake their hands. You need to meet them, network, because these are the opportunities that will help you gain that access to the next level. Again, thank you, and thank you for coming. And those were my opening remarks, and I will introduce the next speaker.